Hey Art Nerds! Not too long ago we reviewed the Pacon Real Images drawing pad. Today we are going to swatch and talk about the Jot permanent markers using them on this drawing pad. So if you're interested in learning more about this particular product, you can click the card here. Today we are focusing on these. So these were purchased from the Luling Dollar Tree, $1 each, and in each pack you receive 8 permanent markers. So what we're looking for today is we're actually going to see how well these could possibly handle as alcohol markers. And to help me with that, I have a Artist Loft neutral blender. So let's go ahead and dive in. So both of these packs are blister pack. They are plastic on cardboard. They are sold by Dollar Tree under their imprint Jot, and they are imported by Greenbrier International, and they were made in China, and you receive 8 markers with a bullet tip. So I'm going to go ahead and unpackage one for you guys on camera, and then we'll unpackage the other one off. And they already feel and sound incredibly cheap. So in one set we received sort of pastel or tropical colors. In the other set we received more primary colors. The primary color set have a blue, a brown, a green, a red, an orange, a purple, a black, and a yellow. Whereas the tropical color set has a fuchsia, a bright yellow, a teal, a lime green, sort of a raspberry red, an orange that seems pretty similar to the orange in the primary set, a burgundy, and then a hot pink. So we are going to do our initial swatching in this Pacon drawing pad. No, it is not marker paper, but I figure for a Dollar Tree review, it'll work just fine. We're gonna start with the primaries and then we're gonna do the tropical colors. So there is no body screening on the body of this permanent marker. Doesn't even say permanent marker. It uncaps fairly easily. The cap posts. There's not an overwhelming smell of permanent marker. It doesn't smell particularly like Sharpies in this room. So for those of you who are more sensitive to permanent marker smells, these aren't necessarily going to really offend your delicate sensibilities. Has decent ink flow. It doesn't feel particularly dry. Now they are brand new, so you know, for all we know, they could die immediately after this field test, or rather this unboxing swatch, this Dollar Tree review. I don't know. I'm sure they're quite effective as permanent markers, but we didn't really buy them to test their efficacy as permanent markers. We bought them to test their efficacy as alcohol markers because I've lost my mind. And this is probably going to end up being part of a much larger field test where I try to make something decent out of a bunch of Dollar Tree art supplies. Now, as those of you who have watched some of my other Dollar Tree reviews might know, there are some really good things at Dollar Tree, but not everything is so great, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this review, to help you guys find affordable art supplies, affordable alternatives to things sold for more money elsewhere, and to know where to spend your dollar. And I apologize for doing that off camera. I promise I will do the second round entirely on camera. Today is just one of those days. This yellow and this yellow seem almost the same, but we'll see how it looks when it dries. And these tropical colors, pastel colors, are not quite as pastel as I'd hoped. But we're getting good saturation on this paper. There's not a lot of streaking. There's also no flex to the bullet nib. It's just a straight up bullet nib, and this is indeed the same orange between the two sets. And this seems more like a scarlet red, and this is a cooler red. So if you're purchasing these for whatever reason, you want to use them as alcohol markers, the electricity just went out. That's a thing. and that's the generator kicking on in the background. So in case you guys haven't figured it out, I'm in Luling, Louisiana. I'm gonna go turn that light on in a second. We've been having weird power issues for a while now. What an exciting day. So I also hit a big Dollar Tree in the Belle Chase area looking for the famed Dollar Tree alcohol markers. Couldn't find them there, so we are gonna stick with these, but honestly, I don't think they're so bad, and I kind of look forward to playing with them more. I think there's actually a lot we can do. So now that these have been swatched, I'm going to do 2 rainbow blends with each set, and then we'll try doing a big rainbow blend where we use both. I am really impressed by how reactive these are on the Pacon drawing paper. Now it's a thicker, more absorbent paper, so it holds onto the moisture longer, the alcohol solvent longer. So they do have more of a chance to react, but considering they're Dollar Tree permanent markers, they are really blendy and really reactive. So I'm looking forward to how the combined rainbow swatch is gonna turn out. Okay, I have to admit, I'm really impressed by how well these Dollar Tree Jot permanent markers blend. I did not see this coming. I will also point out that between the two sets, there are 3 duplicates. The yellow, the orange, and the red are basically the same colors. Especially, that's particularly noticeable when they're dry. So I'm already pretty pleased by how these blend. I do wish there were more pastels, but these are not being sold as art markers. They're being sold as permanent markers, so I'm really pleased by kind of the gamut that we can get. Now, if you're interested in learning more about using alcohol or permanent markers as alcohol markers, I have a couple more things you're gonna like. I have a blog post where I use Bic markets as alcohol markers to create a piece of art. And I also have a video here on this channel where I use Sharpie markers to create a piece of art. So I will link both of those in the cards and in the description. But I think these actually blend better. And the bullet nib, while I don't normally like bullet nibs, this one is fairly soft. There's no flex. It's not like a brush tip, but it's not as scratchy as bullet nibs normally are. So now that we know these blend amongst themselves, I think it's going to be pretty cool, or it would be pretty cool to try using a blender marker with them. And usually when I do these sort of reviews, I actually have a Copic, a Blick Studio sketch marker, and a Prismacolor marker on hand to demonstrate blendability, as well as some rubbing alcohol. Today, I just happen to have an Artist Loft blender, and I have a review of the Artist Loft alcohol markers. And in that review, I complain about the fiber tip and how prone it is to fraying. Well, it seems like they are replacing that fiber tip with a foam rubber nib, which does indeed change my opinion of these markers. I like them a lot better with the foam rubber nib. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch all of these colors and test their reactivity using the blender marker from Artist Loft. So all of these markers are actually pretty blendable. They're pretty reactive to the Artist Loft blender marker. So will wonders never cease? I actually like these permanent markers as alcohol markers better than I like Sharpie markers as alcohol markers and the Bic markets as alcohol markers. And there's 2 other plus sides to these. They don't have super strong fumes, unlike Sharpies, which have like knock your socks off fumes. And you get 8 of them for $1. So you can get 16, well, minus your 3 duplicates, so 13 markers for $1. That's pretty impressive. So I am definitely going to be revisiting these markers in my upcoming field test. Surprise, surprise, I ended up really liking the Jot permanent markers. I really like them for alcohol markers, and I look forward to exploring them in the future as an alternative. Well, I shouldn't say an alternative because that implies that they could actually replace Copics or Prismacolors or Blick Studio brush markers, but they could be a very fun first foray into alcohol markers. And I think they are fairly comparable to the Crayola blend and shade markers that came out a while back. So it would be really fun to kind of pit them against each other, and it would definitely be fun to compare them to Sharpies and Bic Markets as an alternative alcohol marker. So I can't wait to play with these with you guys in the near future in the upcoming field test, and maybe do something with just these markers on their own. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, useful, and informative, make sure you check out some of my other Dollar Tree reviews here on this channel. I'm doing an entire week of summer 2019 Dollar Tree goodies. So if you like this, you should check out those videos as well. Before I completely end this review, I want to see how bleedy these are, and these are incredibly bleedy. So if you are using these alcohol markers as, or I'm sorry, these permanent markers as alcohol markers, you're going to want to work with kind of a blotter page beneath yours. Now, we were doing this in the Pacon Real Images drawing pad. This is not marker paper, and you guys can check out the full review for the Pacon Real Images drawing pad by clicking this card here. However, I really like these markers. They're affordable. They don't have particularly noxious fumes. While doing this review, I didn't notice any fumes at all, but I'm also not really on top of my art today. The bullet nibs are some of the better bullet nibs I've found. I also think these markers are fairly juicy. They have decent color laydown, and I think they're well worth exploring in the future. Now, I know that some Dollar Trees do sell alcohol markers, open stock, $1 a piece, and I am working on getting a hold of some of those so I can review them for you guys. But for right now, this is what I've got, and I'm actually not unimpressed with these. I kind of like them, and I can't wait to play with them some more. So I hope you guys will look forward to that video in the near future. If you want to make sure you don't miss that challenge, make sure you hit subscribe and click the bell notification so you never miss an update. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys again really soon with my next Dollar Tree review, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys!